Hello, welcome to Lemon Stew, where we talk anything and everything entertainment. I'm, of course, Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and this is my review from Monday Night Raw of September 30th, 2024. But before we get into that, let's get the house cleaning out of the way, shall we? To leave a like, comment below, let me know your thoughts on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all out of the way, let's get into the review, shall we? So, the final 3-hour Monday Night Raw for the rest of the year anyway, until 2025, when we go back to it. Going back down to 2, starting next week. And, the most talked about thing going into this episode was which storylines are most likely going to get cut now that we are going to lose a whole hour. Because what I've been saying, one of the strengths of Monday Night Raw, and why I've come around to I am in favor of both shows going to 3 hours, is that, you have these storylines and you're adding more depth and you're adding more to the show with these storylines that are being built just on Monday Night Raw. Sure, some don't hit better than others, and some do feel like filler. Like the Pure Fusion Collective storyline. I sound like a broken record at this point because I feel like my complaints are the same every single week, but when you do the same thing every single week, this is not the only time I'm going to be complaining about, something being redundant. As well on this episode of Monday Night Raw, is that, Pure Fusion Collective target someone, they go and they say, we're going to beat everyone up. This time it was Lyra Valkyria again. Natalie and Zelina weren't there. I guess they had the week off, which is fine. She has a match with Zoe Stark. It only goes like maybe 5 minutes. It was probably a commercial break before, Pure Fusion Collective hits the distraction, and then Zoe Stark gets the win, which is probably what should happen, right? Like, Pure Fusion Collective needs to win. And of course, with my theory that this group is going to be the group that has the women's War Games match, because again, Survivor Series is upon us, and if the men get one, then the women get one as well, and the men's one will be on SmackDown. So this year, the women get it on Raw, and I think it'll be the Pure Fusion Collective with Alba Fire and Isla Dawn versus the fivesome that we've come to know with Lyra Valkyria, Zelina, Natalia, and then Kaden and Katana Chance making their epic return and fighting with them. It turned out, I believe it's Kaden that had a broken nose. But now they're back. We have this backstage segment. And again, kind of comes out of nowhere going, we're going to get back our tag team titles. I was like, Kaden and Katana, y'all have not won in like a year. But I am glad that the women's tag team titles are very present. People are talking about them. People want them. And that is a good step in the right direction. We even have a video package with Damage Control saying, hey, we're coming for those tag titles. We beat Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. Bianca, I beat you. Let's do this match. And, we're probably going to. Maybe it'll be Friday, or maybe it will be next Monday, because they really beefed up next Monday for the first 2-hour Raw. It's gonna fly by quite a bit. But yeah, it's the same thing over and over again at this point. I'm just waiting for it to get into that second gear, especially if this is going to be the women's War Games match. Again, I have nothing to back that up. It's just a feeling I have in my bones. But another storyline to me that is, very redundant, feels very the same over and over again, where I am kind of just ready for it to go their separate ways, is the Terror Twins and the Judgment Day. I feel like I've seen the same segment and the same type of promos for really the whole build up to Bad Blood. Like, I really thought, this breakup post SummerSlam, it was going to be really interesting, and I like the build up to Bash in Berlin. But everything past Bash in Berlin and doing this and doing these Bad Blood promos, I really wish Finn and Damian had more promo time. And again, I just wish Finn wasn't a tag team champion. And I also just wish there was focus on the tag team titles. I kind of do wish it was Damian and Jay versus Finn and JD for the tag team titles at Bad Blood. I think there was a story there, but hey, Jay's the IC champion now. Title got an upgrade. We'll talk more about that later. But we're doing this one-on-one match. They didn't have any promo segment last week. They barely had one this week because Finn's talking about how he doesn't have a heart when Daniel was going to rip out his heart last week. And then, of course, Rhea Ripley's music hits. I mean, the segment works, right? I think it's just redundant for me at this point, because when Rhea's music hits, the crowd goes nuts. So they're still very much in love with this storyline. I think overall conception is that with the general audience is that they are still digging the storyline, and it's a storyline that everyone very much relates to. I'm just in the minority where I just feel like I feel like I've seen the same thing over and over and over again. And I'm still looking forward to both matches. I do think Liv hangs on, and maybe Damian and Finn doesn't need to finish up. Maybe after this it goes into that second gear. But I am ready for Liv and Rhea to go their separate ways. Maybe a little bit break until, we get back to Mania season, and then they could come back and they can make it more about the title than is about fighting over, Dom in this revenge tour, and we just have a completely different chapter where it's just about being the best instead of about getting revenge. Because I swear, every week Liv's like, I've taken everything from Rhea Ripley. Like, yes, Liv, I know. And again, this is nothing against Liv. It's just within the writing of her promos. It's just the same thing over and over and over again. Although it was kind of funny to hear her go, I am really happy to be a homewrecker. That was kind of hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, besides that, those are the only things that I really feel like were, a downfall on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw that didn't really elevate me. But back to the storylines that are being built out through Raw. One I do think is going to suffer a bit is the Miz storyline. Now, I actually do like the Miz. I like the intrigue with Karrion Kross. I liked everything that they did with it. I like how R-Truth came back and Miz went back to being a heel and he attacked R-Truth, which is definitely what we should do. As much as I like Miz as a face, he is much better as a heel, and I think he's going to really dig into that much better, especially with a Triple H Booker as opposed to a Vince Booker. So really looking forward to that, but I do think out of all the storylines, that one might be the one that suffers the most. The New Day storyline continues to be very, very intriguing. I don't think they're going to get as much TV time now. I don't expect, Xavier to have a match and then Kofi to have a match and then we continue on this progressions of the storyline. I did like when Kofi gave up his IC title match to Xavier. You do see Karrion Kross in the background just being a little menace, just looking around going, heh. And then you do see after Xavier cost Kofi the match that they're fighting in the background with Gunther's promo backstage when Braun Breaker shows up. So I've liked everything that they did. Xavier ripping off Rey Mysterio's mask to get the win. This heel turn being slowly built. Again, I don't know if he fully goes heel. I think this is a storyline that's building up to this 10-year anniversary. If they do decide to go their separate ways, hey, it'll be fresh for both of them and it'll be really interesting. I do think on the 10-year anniversary, it will be Kofi Kingston versus Xavier Woods. And I do think after they fight, they will make up. Will they go heel? Will they go good? I don't know. Part of me does think they do need to go heel, just because they've been faces for so long. I know they make so much money and a lot of people love them, and it's probably going to be impossible to get the crowd to boo. But I think let's try it. Let's give it a shot. Let's see if we could do this heel run, and it'll be fresh for the New Day. But if they do decide to break up, one goes face, one goes heel, and they have like a 3-month program, or what would it be, like a 6-month program by the time we get to November? I'm all for that too, but I am very intrigued either way. I liked everything that we did with Xavier quite a bit. And it does look like the storyline is going to be Xavier Woods more than Kofi Kingston, which is good because Kofi's had his time. It's now Xavier's time. And, it'd be really cool, we can have that moment where every person in the New Day has held the world title or a singles title at some point. But yeah, next week we get Jey Uso versus Xavier Woods. Jey Uso is said on his opening promo that it did seem like he forgot a line, but still a good promo. Title got new little bit of design. We got some blue in there. It looks really, really, really good. I'm really excited for that. I guess next year when we get the women's IC title and it's going to be that design and white, ooh, that's going to look really good. It's again, some of these women's titles with that white strap just look much better. I like the women's world title more than and the WWE women's title too, more than the men's one, just because of the white stripe, and I think it's going to be the same way with the IC title too. But yeah, good promo. Braun Breaker comes out, looks like he went face, which makes sense. Again, they tried to do him as a heel. He's much more comfortable in that, but we're going to find that middle where he could be a baby face but still be that badass. And he's like, look, you're the better man who won. Braun Breaker gets a lot of cheers, so what's the point of keeping him heel? Turn him face, and now he's going to move on into the main event scene. Looks like he's going to face Gunther. So that will be really, really fun to watch as well. That's again, it's going to be really intriguing. quite a bit. So we're looking forward to that. Kofi gives up his spot to Xavier, and now it looks like Jey Uso is going to be like LA Knight. Looks like they're going to do where the Intercontinental and United States title now are going to be like TV titles, where they're going to be defended weekly here on out, and maybe they won't be PLE type stories being built around them, which I don't know how I fully feel. Because, like, yeah, those titles should be the workhorses, and, you know, you should just be defending that every single week, and then once you lose it, you go straight to the main event. But, you know, these titles are important. We can build some stories around them and get them on a PLE on Saturdays, and, you know, we can make them mean even more. I think we have done great with these mid-card titles on making them mean something, but I just hope, you know, this isn't going to be the same thing for both titles. You know, they could flip out. They could switch out. You know, one's a TV title and one's actually being built. But I guess when you have two baby faces who just love to work, apparently, this is the route that we go. Now for the World Heavyweight title with Gunther versus Sami Zayn. Another program that was being built on Raw is going to cap up on the first 2-hour Raw of the for the remainder of the year. Sami Zayn comes out. They have really good promos when they were in the ring. I really like the back and forth on, you know, Gunther going, look, I was too concerned on embarrassing you in front of your family. I wasn't concerned about really just beating you. Now I'm going to be concerned about beating you. And I think it is very apparent that maybe we have a squash match next week. I think that's the story that is to be told, that, you know, look, Gunther took it easy on Sami. I think it does need to be somewhat even, because I don't want Sami to be completely buried, especially in the main event scene. Again, with the promos and the build up to this has been really good. I really wish it was more at Bad Blood, but I think the overall storyline is that Gunther took it easy on Sami Zayn at WrestleMania, and Gunther wasn't Gunther at WrestleMania. It was more about embarrassing him than it was about beating him. Now it's going to be about, I don't have that anymore. I will make sure that I beat you. And therefore, I think it's going to be a little one-sided. But yeah, good promo over there too. I think this will be the last TV feud for the World Heavyweight title. Then we just focus on PLEs moving forward. Maybe we do the rematch at Crown Jewel. I don't know. I just kind of wish that we held off on it until we were on the road to Crown Jewel, and then this match got greenlit, because it just makes sense. You know, Sami's going to be in, you know, have home field in Saudi Arabia. And then Gunther coming in as the heel, and then, you know, maybe you have that dominant performance. I don't know. It's a little weird to me. But also, did I get through all the Raw storylines? Oh, yeah, no. We still have the last Monster Standing match. And another storyline that's being built on Raw that I do not remember off the top of my head. But we'll get to the last Monster Standing match. Fine. That's all it was. It was just a lot of fun. They just did big spot after big spot after big spot. You knew the ring was going to break. What I did not expect, though, even though they teased it earlier when they had the interview with Bronson Reed, like, look, you know, you heard Seth Rollins. I was like, oh, that should have been foreshadowing. And Joe's commentary when Seth Rollins came out to beat up Bronson Reed was next level. He is doing an absolutely phenomenal job. And, you know, he hits the curse stop on him. So now we do Bronson versus Seth. Maybe that's going to happen at Crown Jewel. And then, you know, Braun Strowman's going to go on to do his own thing. Maybe he feuds with The Miz. Maybe he feuds with the White Six. I'm not really sure who they're targeting. Part of me does think they're going to target The Miz, because they're like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And a lot of that promo that they did, and then, you know, The Miz did it. So we'll see how it goes on over there. But again, just fun stuff. But now we will finish off with CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre inside the Hell in a Cell. Final promo. Adam Pearce having the security out. They have the last piece of final words. And, you know, it was kind of like they both knew, like, look, what is left to say? We've been talking for 10 months. We've been fighting for 10 months. This ends on Saturday. I'm going to kill you. No, I'm going to kill you. CM Punk talking about how he can't even go home anymore. He's been staying at a hotel because he doesn't want his wife to see the man that he has become. Drew's talking about, I'm wearing black because, you know, out of respect for your wife, because I'm going to send you home in a body bag. And then Punk going like, I'm going to send you back to Scotland in a box. It was just good stuff. It was good stuff. I'm really looking forward to it. Ready for them to go in their separate ways too. I don't know who Punk feuds with next. Maybe it's Gunther, because I do think Punk is going to win the Hell in a Cell match, and then that just makes sense. He'll face Gunther. Maybe in November, Punk gets October off, I guess. But yeah, Raw was really good. Besides some of these storylines that just don't hit as much, like the Pure Fusion Collective stuff, just wait for it to get to second gear. And the Judgment Day stuff, I think they just need to go their separate ways. But yeah, overall, I liked it. If you made it this far, leave a like. I do greatly appreciate it. And leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on this week's episode of Raw. And let me know what I missed, because I do feel like I'm forgetting something, but I cannot remember it off the top of my head. And hit that subscribe button, as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. And until next time, guys, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.